Hey guys, it's Kat. Just here. So many cups over there. I need to throw all this away except for my coffee. But hello, it's Kat, and I just wanted to make a video, um, and just kind of talk and stuff, just about life and general and everything that's going on with me, at the moment. I'm also kind of listening to music, um, to really set the mood. Um, but yeah. But first of all, I made this sweater here. Well, I didn't make the sweater itself because I'm not that cool, but I did do the tree and all the baubles and all the beads, and there's bells. I don't know if you could hear it. And I did the presents and stuff. It's not done yet. I was trying to make an ugly sweater, but it didn't turn out that way. But I guess it just depends on who you talk to, because I guess some people could say that it's ugly, but I actually think it turned out really cute. But I'm not done with it. I want to add another present to it, because when I put it on, this space here is like huge. So I want to make another present or something. And I kind of want to like get more felt and try to make a creepy Santa face like stick out from behind the tree or something. I don't know. I can't decide. But yeah, that's currently that's what I did last night. It took me a few hours, because lately I've been feeling a lot of anxiety. So creating and making things is one of the things that makes me feel better and like relaxes me. So that's what I did. And my boyfriend was a trooper and walked around with me and helped me get all that stuff. But yeah, so that's a sweater. I don't know if I'm gonna wear that on Christmas Eve when I'm at my family's, or if I should wear it at work, because I don't work on Christmas Eve. So maybe I'll wear it the day before. But yeah, so yeah, currently what's happening with me is, so I mentioned this before in a video, that I have this, you can't really see it very well, but it's like this lump right here. And basically what it is it is so just to recap, thyroid problems run in my family. It's also very common for women to have thyroid issues in Utah, I guess. I don't know. Someone told me it's because of the nuclear something in Texas, not in Texas, in the desert. But I don't know. But thyroid issues run in my family. About a year and a half ago, maybe longer than that, my sister had to get half of her thyroid out because she had a nodule growing on it and it was causing an issue. Well, around the same time, I started to notice the same lump in my throat, but I thought it was just because my sister and I are really close. So it was like a sympathy thing, but it got worse. And I didn't do anything about it because I have a fear of the doctor. So I kind of let it go, and now it's kind of big, and now it's like makes my throat hurt. It makes it hard to swallow. And so basically what it is I also have a nodule on my thyroid, but I don't just have a nodule on my thyroid. I took it a step further, and I also have a cyst on my thyroid, which for me is just great. That just makes me feel so great. Like every time around this time of year something happens. Someone dies, I get sick. Like around this time of year a few years ago, I got pneumonia pretty bad, to the point where they told my dad that if he didn't bring my mom and I into the hospital when he did, we probably both would have been hospitalized. So that was great. People die, people get sick, relationships end, and just stuff like that. And now it's my thyroid, and it's like, fuck, man. Like, this time of year is already stressful enough, let alone the fact that I've got a lump in my throat, literally. But what's frightening for me, and I know I could just be potentially awfulizing it, but I am going to see a endocrinologist, or a ear, throat, nose, mouth doctor person. And he's going to be the same doctor that helped my sister and did my sister's thyroid surgery and stuff. And they're going to take a look at it. And for me, it's basically like, she just had a nodule on part of her thyroid, but I have a cyst and a nodule, and I don't know where it's at because I don't know how to read an ultrasound, and I don't know even how to get the ultrasound. But there is a chance, and I may just be awfulizing and taking a step forward before I even know what's going on, which is kind of something that I do. But there's a chance that they might have to take the entire thyroid out, which is livable. It's not deadly. The only thing is I would have to live on pills for the rest of my life to help me produce those hormones, and I'll have to fix my eating habits, and I'll have to exercise more, which those are things I should do anyway. But the scariest part for me is that it's possible to have kids and for the pills to help with your fertility when you don't have your thyroid, because your thyroid controls all your hormones. But it is difficult to be able to have children without your thyroid. And there is a chance that could happen for me. And I didn't realize how much that bothered me until I realized that there was a possibility that could happen. And now it's like, that's really scary, you know? But at the end of the day, it's like, I don't want anything bad to happen to me. I don't want to die or anything like that. Not that I would. It's very, very rare for a nodule to be a malignant, have like cancer in it that's malignant. But my mind always thinks, it's me, so why wouldn't it be? But also, like, I've wanted to adopt basically my entire life, ever since I knew what adopting was. And I've wanted to be a foster parent for forever, so, that always could be an option, and there's a lot of options nowadays. It's just kind of scary to think about. And also, I've never had surgery before, and one of my worst fears is to wake up during surgery and the anesthesia making it so I couldn't, like, move or say anything, and watching documentaries and movies and stuff of people that's actually happened to, because it's actually happened to people. It's fucking scary, and it's one of those things that scares the shit out of me more than really a lot of things do. And so that's a fear of mine. But, my sister went through it too, and I'm going to be using the same doctor. So, there is that positivity, because he's a very good doctor, and you can barely see the scar, because usually they have to cut into here, and then get it all out of there, and then, sew it back up, and you can barely see her scar. I've seen pictures of people that got their thyroid out back in the 90s and even the early 2000s, and their scars are really long, almost as if they, like, got their throat slit. But it's really cool that my sister's scar is about maybe that long, if you can see my measurement, and you can barely see it. So, which really goes back to how good the doctor was. But that's something that's going on with me. Another thing is that, like, I think it could be one of three things fucking with me. So, basically, I've been having these episodes of depression and self-doubt and paranoia. So, basically, my mind starts to create a scenario in my head that's happening with people or myself, and it's such a strong scenario that I start to believe it, and it starts to make me angry and upset. And I know that it's probably me just creating this stupid world in my head, but every now and again I go through these periods of doubt where basically I doubt everything in my life, my choices, my job, my relationships, everything that anybody says to me. I just believe that everybody's lying to me, or that they're hiding stuff from me. And there's been times where that feeling has been accurate, and there's been times where I've been crazy. And the reason I say there could be three reasons for that is because, one, it could be my thyroid. Because sometimes when there's a nodule growing on your thyroid, it can make your thyroid produce more hormones than it's supposed to, which can make you depressed, paranoid, and nervous and stuff like that. So it could be that. It could be the fact that I do have depression, and it could just be, the time of the year and stuff like that. Because as I said, I do go through periods of times where this happens. Or, and this is going to sound crazy to people, but where I work is haunted. And it's haunted by, I think, several spirits or entities. but recently something happened to one of my coworkers. I'm not going to say what, but it was really horrible. Really, really horrible. And I think it brought some negative energy into the store. And I think it's because of what happened and how horrible it was and how distraught she was. I think it kind of may have attracted something there, because it didn't start to happen until we got our new girl. And then but it got even more intense when what happened to her happened. And ever since then, it's like the energy in the store has been off. And it could be because of us, but like all of us really like each other. All 5 of us like each other. And so I don't think that's what it is. If there's something else, but also like being in the front room, because I work in an adult store. So we have a back room where all of the adult stuff is. And then we have a front room where the lingerie and clothes are. That's all ages. And being in the front room by yourself is kind of creepy, especially if you have your back turned. So we have these shelves that we call the Coochie shelves, which is basically the brand. It's a shaving cream called Coochie, and it is supposed to be safe to use on certain parts of the female body. And that's just what it's called. And that's what we call the shelves. And every Monday we're supposed to clean them. And without fail, every time I clean the shelves and my back is turned to the store and there's nobody in there and I'm alone, I can hear people walking around. I can hear things moving on racks. It's like when you're in a room and it's like you can feel someone's presence, but there's nobody there. That happens all the time. Or I'll always hear like someone go all the time. And there was one time when I was closing the store and I was talking to one of my coworkers and I felt someone like touch my forehead. And she saw me just stop and look around because I thought something fell on my head. And she's like, what? And I told her it felt like something touched my head. And then she told me stories about how at the other stores, there was a ghost that would touch their hair. So I was like, okay, well, maybe something followed her there. And then it's like, you'll hear giggles, you'll hear voices. Recently it's been a lot of female voices, especially in our break room. So like I'll think that one of the girls is in the break room and there's nobody in there. And then in our break room, there's a door to another room that holds all of our back stock and like mostly boxes and bags and stuff. And that room is creepy as hell because it's dark. There's no windows. So even during the day, it's dark as hell. But I think the scariest part of the store for me is the shoe room. So basically the shoe room is where we hold all of our other shoes, like our shoe back stock. And that room freaks me out because there is a window that you can look into the room. And I always feel like someone's looking at me through the windows, but I can't see anyone. And the stories I've heard of like, so basically our store, before I started working there, it was renovated to be bigger. And usually when places are renovated, ghosts don't like that kind of thing, or whatever's there doesn't like it. They don't like change. And so I guess a girl that worked there before, there used to be curtains instead of a door leading to the shoe room. And she saw someone lift the curtains as if they were looking into the room to look at her. And she saw a figure and then she saw them drop. And when she went to see if it was actually someone, there was nobody there. So that kind of freaks me out. So there's like certain things at the store where it's like sometimes it's not scary because there are entities there. But recently has been when the creepy stuff has happened. Recently has been when it's like you don't want to be in the room by yourself, where you feel fear rather than just like an uneasiness, because when there's a spirit around, of course you feel uneasy because it's otherworldly and you can't see it. But I think there's a difference between the unsettled and something that actually scares you. So there's that. And, maybe what happened to my coworker / friend really did like ignite some kind of energy because of how bad it was. But it's also just, it's always been there. It's always been there, but it's gotten more and more intense and a little bit creepier. And it's fascinating. And part of me does think that it is affecting my mood and my energy. because, like, I know people say this a lot, but I've been told by psychics and tarot card readers and sensitives that I'm empathic. So when people feel certain emotions, I feel it as if they were my own. And so when there's negative energy of any capacity, I can feel it, and it fucks with me horribly. And so I do think that might be affecting me slightly. But as I said, I do have depression, and I do deal with some mental issues that I thought I was that I had dealt with before, but I hadn't. I guess I haven't quite dealt with it completely as if I thought I did. But you know, that's currently what's going on with me. I think it's also like with my throat and my thyroid. I feel a lot of anxiety because it's going to get expensive and I don't have insurance. So there's that. That's that's a problem for me because I can only do so much. And I think it's stupid that, like, and I don't know, I'm sure if it's like that in the entire country, but I think it's dumb that people can't afford to have insurance, but they get fined a huge lump sum of money if they don't have insurance. So basically it's like you are fining people because they don't have the money to have insurance, but you think that they have the money to pay the fine. It's like people rely on their taxes. A lot of people rely on their taxes to be able to buy groceries or something like that after their taxes, or to be able to pay rent or pay a car payment. But it's like they can't do that if they're being fined for not having enough money to have insurance. It doesn't make any sense to me. There's a lot of shit that fucking happens that doesn't make sense to me in the slightest, but that's not something that I really want to get into at all. But this video is long, and I think it's because there have been stuff that I feel like I've been wanting to talk about, but it's like those moments when, like, you want to talk about it with someone that you care about or someone that cares about you, and you start to, but then you stop. Like, it gets stuck in your throat because it's like almost like you don't want them to care, or like you don't want them to worry. I hate it when people worry about me. So you just kind of pretend that there's nothing wrong when there is. So, and I guess I've just been needing to talk about, just lately it's been really hard for me to get out of bed and to, like, be able to ignore that voice in my head that is just very loud and kind of keeps me from doing things. And that the depression is real, guys. The depression is real recently, and it's not good, but luckily I'm a tough cookie, and I've grown from the person I used to be who would let it defeat me and let it take me down. So that's good. And also I have really good distractions, writing my book, making sweaters and stuff. I'm actually waiting for something to dry so I can glue it on there. But yeah, so this video is literally almost 20 minutes. So yeah, so that's currently what's going on with my life. It's really not that exciting. I bought my mom's Christmas present today, and my sister's Christmas present should arrive on Wednesday, along with my coworker's present. I got my coworker one present, and then I got her something else, and then I'm going to get her another thing because she told me what else she wanted. So, you know. But I still need to get my boyfriend's, and I still need to get my dad's, which tomorrow my mom and I are supposed to traverse the world of the holidays with all the people to go get my dad a present. So that's what's currently going on. Also, if you notice changes in my voice, it's because the lump in my throat makes my throat dry and my throat hurt, and it makes it hard to swallow. So it's like mucus and spit doesn't pass very well. But also it makes my voice very hoarse, which is awesome because I like to sing, and it makes it hard to sing sometimes. And it's frustrating. And if there's any, like, pushing on my throat, like, at first it didn't hurt, but I swear since I started going to the doctor for it, it's gone bigger. But I could just be freaking out, but I swear it's larger and more prominent, and I don't know if it's just always been prominent and I've ignored it, but it feels like it is. So I don't know. I don't know enough about the human body, but I am excited to, which sounds weird, but I am excited to go to the doctor that knows what he's talking about, and to have him tell me my game plan, because that way I know if I can, like, that way I know to prepare for something, which is good, because that way I can prepare for it and try to deal with the anxiety that comes with it. I'm going to go see him on the 28th. So, 3 days after Christmas. So that's good. This time of year is great. But I'm going to go. I'm going to continue on my sweater, and I'm going to write a little, and then I need to sleep, and then meet my mom at work. So yeah, that's currently what's going on with me. I'm sorry that this video is so long. I didn't want to edit or do a clip show because I suck at it, and I just didn't want to, so I decided to just make one long video of just me talking. But yeah, so thank you for joining me in this video, and if you liked it, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos like of me just kind of like opening up and talking about what's going on with me more, let me know and hit that like button, because Lord knows I need to learn how to open up more. And yeah, and I hope that you have a wonderful day and a beautiful night and a wonderful holiday, whatever it is. And this is Kat signing off. Bye.